So, Michael Peca, thanks for joining us.
Good to be on, man.
So we just got a chance to watch our golf video, and the question I have is, will Pat Coletta ever let you forget that he just beat you in a round of golf?
Well, he didn't beat me in a round of golf. His team beat our team. And I didn't even do the putt-off with my own putter because I didn't even know we were doing it. But, that's not what it's all about anyways. But
Yeah.
it was such a fun day. Obviously, watching that video back, it's a lot of fun to watch it.
Yeah, and thank you to yourself and to Patty, to Jay and Marty. It said it in the video, but that just a 2-week period leading up to that event, we raised $47,000, which is just an unbelievable amount in a short amount of time, given everything that's going on. So,
and I tell you what, the amazing thing is, all the guys that were playing golf that day, we're all here tonight.
Yep.
And building the most money in donations, which is. Kudos to those guys, man.
Yeah,
they're awesome.
Some of these guys have raised just a crazy amount of money in a few years. So before we get into the 11-day a little bit, you and I have known each other for quite a long time. And just as a little background, we met, you were in your early, I was a little older than you, but in our 20s. You had just come to Buffalo. You started dating a girl named Kristen. Turns out Kristen had a friend named Amy. And you guys ended up being married. And it's been fun. I got to watch you when you were playing in Buffalo, and then, as you guys moved around, and always lived here, and our kids are really close, and it's been a lot of fun, and you guys are back, and now we watch a golf thing, and our boys just went out golfing together the other day, so it's been fun, and now we get to do this type of stuff, and yourself as an alumni and part of the Buffalo community, it really means a lot to help out with this, so I thank you, and. You were originally going to play in our event. You had an injury that precluded you from doing it. But you want to just, what's your memories of going back to 16, 17 when we started doing that event, and maybe talk about why you were involved and who you were playing for?
I think just initially, I remember when you mentioned it to me. I think anytime anybody ever approaches you with something, right away whether it's a great idea or not. And the way you just presented it, the passion, everything. You knew it was going to be a great event. Obviously, there's an emotional attachment to it, with what Amy went through, your mom went through, and involved the sport that you and I love dearly. It's in both our families. So it's easy to really get behind and start, being a part of the creative process at the start. And I just think you and Amy had such a good team and built such a wonderful group of partners to help build that thing that first year. I was blown away. Even after seeing guys like Dan Downing and some of these guys, how they're hurting a little bit, Jixter, Alan Davis, they stuck it out. I think the reason they stick it out, not to compare the two, but if you think of guys, the military guys, when they're hurting, they go through it because there's an emotional. It means something to them. So so they really push through it.
Right.
That event meant so much to all those guys.
Right.
That they weren't going to fail anybody.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the great thing is about our sport of hockey is when you're on good teams, as a teammate, you never want to let your team down. And they knew that, look, I made a commitment and I want to do that. And I knew that with some of my injuries, I didn't know what my commitment was going to be able to finish. But I think had I done it, and I kind of wish in retrospect I did, because having seen those guys push through what they've gone through that event, I think it would have been easy. I think it would have been inspired. You get inspired by what these guys do. It was just amazing.
Believe it or not, it was easier than you'd think. It wasn't easy, but it's like if you're driven, like you said, with the passion, it's actually not that difficult if you just put it behind you. It's the physical part.
Yeah.
When you were talking about that, one of the interesting things that probably most people don't know is the reason that I selected or talked to and got involved with some of the people that ended up playing in it was because of the passion. And the reason I knew that was I had talked to you about a guy named Brent Sake. And I said, do you happen to know Brent Sake? He's from Edmonton. And you said, yeah, he's a doctor with the Edmonton Oilers. And Brent Sake has done 6 or 7 world record events. They've raised over $10 million, all for cancer research and pediatric cancer research. And you actually you gave me his contact. And one day I was driving home from work, and this is in end of 16, and I called Brent Sake out of the blue, and I said, hey, Brent, you don't know me. My name is Mike Lesakowski. I got your number from Mike Peca. I want to do the world's longest hockey game and beat your world record. And I thought he was going to be kind of mad about it or like not wanting to do it. And the first thing he said was, how can I help? How can I help? This guy never met me, picked up his phone on a Friday afternoon. He's a doctor. And I thought that was so cool because from that moment, and then there's another group in Alberta, Calgary, they wanted, like, because of the cause, they wanted to help. We had conference calls with them, and we had talked about coming to each other's events, and we actually formed a friendship, and you had made that introduction. I don't think a lot of people knew that. And it speaks to the hockey world, like hockey players.
I mean, the fraternity of just people in the hockey world. Doesn't matter what level or where you live or where you're from. Hockey's hockey, and you live it. And the funny thing about Dr. Sake was, I was that spring. So I was in Edmonton at a playoff game. They were playing. I can't remember who Edmonton was playing, and I remember running into him. So him and a friend of his are the guys at Oilers games that wear the orange. One guy wears an orange suit, the other guy wears the royal blue suit. And I remember mentioning it to him, and we were talking about it. He goes, "Yeah, I can't wait. Help with anything the guys need." And he goes, and then we're going to turn around and break the record the next year.
Exactly,
so,
and they did. And
yeah,
they did.
I mean, it's just cool to see people really, step up and help out, and that just goes to the hockey community. I think it's a really tight-knit group.
Yeah, and then going back to like you guys after the original event, it became a community shift, and similar to the golf, people in Buffalo, they love the Sabres, they love the Alumni. They're and the guys like yourself get involved with the city, and people love that, right? So like when we did the community event, yourself and guys like Patty and Jay McKee, Danny Gear, Marty Baran, Jeff Peters, Andrew Peters, like those guys all came and they're like, yeah, let's play. And the guys and girls that raise money, they wanted to do it for the cause, but it's really cool for them to get to play with their childhood or their Buffalo Sabres. So having you guys involved, and Buffalo's the perfect city for it because of that. So I think that really adds to the event, and you guys have been involved ever since. And I couldn't thank you more because it's really it adds to our event a lot, and I think it's really helped people to want to fundraise not only for the cause but to play with guys like yourself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously moving around and playing a lot of different cities. You get to meet a lot of great people, but I think Buffalo, and it's the reason why we still live here and a lot of people stay in Buffalo, is Buffalo epitomizes what a community stands for. People will do anything for each other. It's the greatest community to find, wonderful people that love to give back to their city, blue-collar mentality, and I loved it. I mean, playing with Jixter on the 97 Rock team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so much fun, and the rivalry we've built up with the Queen City Squirrels.
Mark's listening.
Yeah, so I mean, all that stuff is just so much fun, and it's funny when you go through those games in the community shift, how fast that 4 hours goes by because you're having so much fun. So
any particular memories from any of those shifts? I remember we wrapped the net one time.
I think my greatest memory, which I think I'm comfortable saying it on here, is watching a goalie on his knees puke through his mask. Was a wonderful visual of the commitment guys had. I think that was like the 1 a.m. shift or somewhere around there. But you know what? It's literally just seeing, and I'm talking more on the community shift side, just seeing how the diversity of the people involved, the young kids and the older people, and the boys and the girls, the men and the women. There's everybody's included. Yep. Everybody takes part in it. Everybody loves being a part of it. And I mean, kudos to you and Amy. You've pulled off an event that is going to live on and be remembered for an awfully long time.
Yeah, thank you. So thank you very much, Michael. It's been a great to have you. We're going to hopefully do this for many years to come. And right now we're going to go to a little video about some of the wonderful people that have raised money for us.